Hello everyone, we're just checking in on the stream right now. I want to make sure that I am actually going live. Perfect. Everything is working nicely. Hello everybody and welcome to the Midnight Rebellion podcast. I'm your host Drake Maverick, and today we have a very exciting episode for you all. This caught me by surprise, and I think it might catch you by surprise too. But basically, I've been watching Asmongold for a number of years now, and I really like his content. Not only does he speak to my generation of people, he talks about video games, and he recently started delving into politics. And it kind of just worked out to when he started talking about politics, I actually started getting into politics. Really around the 2016 election is when I first started getting into politics. I guess that was, 9 years ago? So I was 23, 24 years old. So yeah, I started watching Asmongold, and to be honest, he just had kind of normal takes. I would say that he had common sense takes on just about every issue, and I generally didn't see myself disagreeing with Asmongold basically at all. But this all changed a few days ago when he finally covered the Candace Owens drama. Now, for anyone who doesn't know me, I'd like to tell you that I am a hardcore Republican. I lean extremely right when it comes to social issues, but when it comes to economic issues, I definitely lean more leftist, I guess you could say. I definitely lean more liberal. I don't think there needs to be billionaires out there in the world. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. No one needs $1 trillion. No one needs $1 billion. I think that we live in the 21st century, and our standard of living for the average citizen should be extremely high, even if they are not working. And we'll talk about that later. We're not going to get into that right now. I just want to give you guys a background onto my politics and what I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my webcam here, and we're going to look at Asmongold and his coverage of the Candace Owens drama. Okay, when I tell you I was shocked when I heard how he was speaking about Candace Owens, I really mean it. I did not expect this kind of rhetoric coming from someone like Asmongold. Absolutely ridiculous. But nonetheless, the more I started listening to the episode, and I will say I did not make it the entire way through the episode, and we're not going to make it the entire way through the episode today. I'm going to show you some clips. I have a brief summary about what we're going to talk about in my section. What is it called? Like the summary section underneath the video. So you guys can reference that and look at what we're going to be talking about. I will have that pulled up on one of my monitors so I can stay on topic with these things. So let me get a drink real quick and wait. Hopefully some people start joining, but I don't want to just go crazy with no one joining. I actually don't even know how to check if anyone is watching right now. Well, I do know that you guys are going to be able to soon. So give me 1 second. I'm actually going to pull up my intro video for you guys. Just give me 1 second. Where did I find that again? Be in here. I think it's in desktop. Investigations, Candace Owens. Nope, not there. Nope, not there. Here it is. Okay, my computer just crashes real quick. No problem. Oh, this is not the video. That's why I'm trying to load an 8K video. Where is my intro at? Darn it. I just found this actually not that long ago, but I'm seeming to have some trouble finding it now. Where is this? Oh, I think this is
I differ on our angle with...
Yes, it is. Let me go ahead and rewind this. Put it on the big screen, baby. All right, and let's make sure this is working correctly. All right, here's my intro, guys.
I differ on our angle with regard to, for example, Candace Owens. I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil.
The people that are watching her will not accept this answer.
She is a degenerate.
And now you're going against their retard programming, and they're mad.
She's going on a show that millions of people watch, and she's naming private individuals and inciting her followers to harass these people.
Has it ever occurred to you that you farmed an audience of people that are so stupid that you think they're bots?
She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And
You farmed an audience of retards.
She comes out with this conspiracy that France is trying to kill her. She says, France is trying to kill me. Then she comes out and says, the French government didn't respond. The American government didn't respond. Suspicious.
The chats are botted. Everybody's botted.
Candace Owens is a f***ing evil scumbag.
I absolutely hate conspiracy theorist stuff.
Candace Owens has been on a crusade.
But if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erika of?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you one person who doesn't have an idea. Candace Owens doesn't have an idea.
And so they went through and debunked a few things and said, we're going to give a complete and formal and full response.
And this is the problem, is that so many people, this is the big issue with like these online conspiracies and these events, is that people get so committed to an outcome that they don't care about the truth anymore.
Sorry about that. All right, my microphone was off. That's just a typical thing that happens. But welcome to the Midnight Rebellion podcast. I'm your host, Drake Maverick, and thank you guys for joining me today. We have a very exciting episode, and the reason it's exciting is because there is a person in which I've been watching for a very long time, I would say about 6 years, who I like a lot. I've consumed some of this person's content more than probably anyone else's content in the last few years, especially since 2016 when I started getting extremely interested in politics. And that person, in case you're blind, is Asmongold. We have him on the top right-hand side of our screen right now, or left-hand side if you're watching this. And we are going to look at him finally addressing some of the things that Candace has been saying. Now, Asmongold, I would have assumed, is an intellectual, okay? And I still think he's an intellectual. I think he's a relatively smart person, right? He's no Einstein. And he has some of the easiest takes to have in politics, right? Trans women should not compete in women's sports, and trans men should not be able to walk into bathrooms of regular men. Trans women shouldn't be able to walk into bathrooms of women. And also, you shouldn't have a bunch of drag queens going into public schools and reading books to children. Obviously, the parents might not want their children to be exposed to this kind of sexually provocative things in their school, especially in their school, and they should have a say in what, they should have a say in what their kids are exposed to. Obviously, this is public school, and this school is obviously being funded by the parents in their tax money. So they should have every right to decide what their child is or is not exposed to. So I just assumed that Asmongold was going to do a deep dive into this, do some research. I assumed that he had been following Candace this entire time because this is pretty much the largest thing happening in the world right now when it comes to politics. I mean, everyone's talking about this. There is a literal storm of people talking crap on Candace Owens on X and on YouTube, literally everywhere you look. But if you take a closer look and look into the comment section, you'll see immediately that Candace is literally ratioing every single person who is negatively talking about her. And this is because the general public, most Americans, agree with Candace Owens, okay? Let's just take a quick second and look at Asmongold's subscribers. He has 4.24 million subscribers. And then let's go ahead and look up Candace Owens and see what she's looking like in today's world. Let's go look. She has 5.7 million subscribers. So she has over 1 million more subscribers than Asmongold, and she is the #1 podcast in America right now. Now, she has been the at least top 5 podcast in the world for about, I want to say, the last few years. So this is not surprising whatsoever. But since the largest political assassination of our generation just happened, and she's the only person asking questions, or at least she was the only person asking questions about this, and people closest to Candace, obviously people are going to tune in and see what she has to say. So with all that being said, we are going to, first of all, make sure that I'm still live streaming. I would love to know that that my stream is actually working. And then we're going to jump right into this thing. Okay, it looks like I am live right now. It says it's new. Perfect. This is awesome. I'm super excited. I am going to edit this video down because I don't know how YouTube works. If I, do a live stream, is it still going to show up in people's feed once the live stream's over? But just in case it isn't, I'm going to edit this video down, get rid of some of the ridiculousness inside of the live stream, and give a condensed version to all of the people that want to see what I have to say. So with all that said, let's get straight into it. All right, I'm going to pull up my notes here because I did take notes. I came prepared this time. So I started at about minute 3. Asmongold claims because we couldn't figure out the JFK assassination in 1963 that it's unlikely we will figure out the death of a podcaster was committed by Israel. So we're going to go ahead and take a second and listen to this clip.
Want any answers to the questions. I just want to ask them. No, This is the entire reason we are doing this. We've been looking at the situation.
The problem is that she is in an untenable situation. I think that every rational person knows that if they couldn't figure out if Israel killed JFK because he was trying to pressure Israel to join the nuclear committee or stop them from getting nuclear weapons, if we couldn't figure out if Israel could do that, then what do you think the fucking odds are that we're going to figure out that they killed a podcaster? Really? Like, let's think about this just for 3 seconds. Like, even if Israel did kill Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens isn't going to be the person that's going to figure this out. So the truth is that you were in this to lose even from the beginning. The game was rigged right from the start. You thought that you were going to go into this, everybody was going to listen to you, people were going to see your side of it. Absolutely not. JFK was trying to dismantle CIA. Yeah, he was trying to do other things too, right? And it may be...
All right, we're going to go ahead and pause it there. All right, so let's address the first retarded claim that comes out of this man's mouth. He claims, like I said in the beginning before the video started, that because in 1963 JFK was shot, he was assassinated, and there was a conspiracy involving Israel, and a lot of people that thought that Israel had something to do with it because of the ideas that Asmongold just mentioned there about the nuclear program and whatnot. And JFK was openly talking about Israel and its influence over American politics. He thinks because that happened and we were unable to find out that Israel was involved, there is a low likelihood that Candace Owens is going to be able to solve this assassination and pinpoint it to Israel. There's one major problem with this brain dead take, okay? First of all, it was 1963. We did not have technology like we do today. First of all, this wasn't widely recorded. People weren't tuning in from all over the world to watch this. We didn't have ease of access to be able to record and pause it and slow-mo the video and watch every single person's reaction. And we also were not well connected like we are now. There is billions of people on social media. Okay, on X alone, they have, I want to say, I'm just guessing here, but definitely over 1 billion users. So to say that there is some correlation between the JFK assassination and the lack of evidence that we found implicating Israel is just a brain dead take. We have way more technology now, and there's way more people connected, right? There are literally thousands of people as we speak gathering evidence, putting it together, talking amongst each other, and putting this into one cohesive idea so we can understand exactly what happened to Charlie Kirk. Now, I will say I was a pretty big fan of Charlie Kirk for the most part. The one thing I disagree with about Charlie Kirk, which actually only happened recently because I was not extremely educated on Israel. I guess you could say I was white-pilled or black-pilled. I don't know the terminology to Israel. Actually, very recently, I would say about a year ago, is when I started doing research on my own and trying to understand what the relationship between Christians and Israel was. Why, it didn't make any sense to me why Christians would be sticking up for Jewish people. Okay, first of all, I knew that Jews are the ones that condemned Jesus Christ, put him on the cross, and literally killed him. And also, besides that fact, Jewish people do not believe that Jesus was God. And unlike the Islamic religions, they actually believe that Jesus Christ was a prophet. But guess what? Jews do not believe this. They don't believe that Jesus was the Son of God and that he was God. They do not believe that Jesus was a prophet. And they also don't believe that Jesus was anything really other than a troublemaker. Okay? This is straight from Ben Shapiro's mouth. You can go find the clip for yourself if you want to, but Ben Shapiro basically says that Jews don't think there's anything special about Jesus whatsoever. With that being said, how can you be a Christian and also have an IQ above room temperature and think that we are supposed to be in great relationship with the Jews? No. Just because a part of prophecy is fulfilling before our eyes doesn't mean we have to agree with the individuals involved in the prophecy, okay? This is an obvious take, right? There is prophecy about Revelations, right? When the world ends and the devil's coming and he's killing people and he's, damning people to hell, and there's these horsemen that come out. There's evil things that God told us is going to happen in Revelations. So just because it's a prophecy and it's unfolding doesn't mean we have to support the evil, okay? It's going to happen regardless whether we support it or not. Duh. We agree that God is sovereign over everything happening. God knows everything, the beginning and the end of this world that we're living in right now, and he knows what's going to happen before it happens, okay? God sees the entire picture. So even though he's going to use evil for good, which we know God does all the time, he takes an evil situation that happens and he uses it for good. That doesn't mean the act itself was not evil. No, of course not. We all know this as Christians. It doesn't mean the act itself was not evil. It just means that evil is inevitable because we have free will, but we don't have to sit here and support it. Actually, what we should do as Christians is condemn evil. Always. Blood guilt is not okay. Tucker Carlson says it all the time. And I'm literally going to punch myself in the face if I have to hear him say it one more time. It's like, I know that's one of those sayings that you really can't say enough, especially in the climate that we're in right now, but all Palestinians are not guilty, contrary to the opinion of the Israel lobby. Okay? There are literally children, and regardless if they're being brainwashed or not, they are innocent in the eyes of God. So when Israel comes out and kills 70,000 innocent civilians, yeah, we should condemn that. And that is not just a consequence of war, okay? Whoever's telling you that is a liar. First of all, Israel has Palantir technology. They can, and not just to mention just Israel, I mean, any world power right now has the ability to come out and cause pinpoint accuracy attacks on their enemies, okay? They are intentionally doing this because they are trying to ethnically cleanse the region, all right? Even Charlie Kirk himself said this in a podcast. I'm sure you guys seen it. It is going viral everywhere. I'm not going to play it for you. I'm sure you've seen it already. Let me grab a drink real quick. Nonetheless, that is the first retarded thing he says, and also not the last and probably the least retarded thing he's going to say this entire episode. But he says, Candace thought people were going to listen to her and hear her side of the story. Nope. Buddy, what are you talking about? Are you trying to say that people are not listening to her? She has the #1 podcast in America right now. Okay, that means people are listening to her more than they are listening to anyone else in the world right now, or in America right now. Okay, the number one podcaster in America. More people are tuning in to see what Candace has to say than anyone else in the United States. So he knows that. Why would he say that? It's because he's gone full retard, and we're about to see some more of it, okay? Let me skip ahead to 5:30 real quick.
Like I just said, had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed.
It came to me in a dream. How do you know Charlie Kirk was murdered by Israel? I had a dream and he came to me and he said, Candace, you have to tell the world. Israel did this to me and nobody wants to know it. I don't know how I missed this. This is amazing.
And so for me, you don't have to believe that, but I do believe that. And
I don't believe it.
It was the immediate sense I got, actually. And I don't know who exactly it is that betrayed him, but I also felt in the dream that it is soon going to be revealed, that it's actually inevitable.
All right, give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to replay this clip for you guys, and I have to go grab something real quick, so just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I forgot to grab my charger so that my webcam doesn't die in the middle of streaming like what happened yesterday. So I'll be right back. Give me probably 10 seconds. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. I had to plug my phone in real quick, and let me make sure that it's actually charging. All right. Thank God I'm going to edit this video so I can actually cut that piece out, but we're going to go ahead and listen to this one more time.
Had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed.
It came to me in a dream. How do you know Charlie Kirk was murdered by Israel? I had a dream and he came to me and he said, Candace, you have to tell the world. Israel did this to me and nobody wants to know it. I don't know how I missed this. This is amazing.
And so for me, you don't have to believe that, but I do believe that. And
I don't believe it.
It was the immediate sense I got, actually. And I don't know who exactly it is that betrayed him, but I also felt in the dream that it is soon going to be revealed, that it's actually inevitable that it is going to be revealed, that there is nothing and no one that is going to stop the truth from coming out, and it is going to have international consequences. Take that to the bank. Quote me on that.
Oh, God. I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to.
Women tend to have a strong, like I just said, had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed. And so for...
All right. Well, the main source is she had a dream that Charlie Kirk told her that she was right. Oh, wow. This is insane.
All right, so right there, we can see him being completely dishonest, and it comes from a lack of education. He's uneducated on the topic, obviously, and he's poking fun at Candace Owens for coming on to her audience on her show and just describing that she had a dream the night before, and it was Charlie Kirk in the dream, and he said that he was betrayed. Okay? This is not evidence. Obviously, it's not evidence. She's not portraying it as evidence. She's just saying she knows that something happened that we are not aware of, and that it's going to be uncovered, and there will have national consequences behind that. And he says something that I just want to make sure you guys understand clearly. He says this is the main source of evidence that he was betrayed and that Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Okay? This is not true, and later on in the video, I'm going to actually go through everything and tell you guys what the actual claims that Candace Owens has made and how many of them turned out to be true. Okay? Because everyone likes to say that Candace Owens is pushing a conspiracy theory, but what they fail to ever say is, what's the conspiracy theory then? And they're always wrong when they answer this question. They try to say that Israel and the French government and blah, 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 and blah, 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 they were all in on killing Charlie Kirk, when that's not actually what Candace said. She's looking into things, okay? She's looking into weird things that are occurring. She's noticing that people are lying about whether it be their whereabouts that day, or what Charlie actually said and thought, or text messages that Charlie has sent, or letters that he has sent out, okay? And when people lie about these things, right, and it's not just a little lie, they are blatantly lying about it, okay? Every one of these lies that we're about to talk to you about are lies that the individuals telling the lie knew the information, okay, and intentionally lied about it. And what other reason would you have to lie about something unless you're trying to hide something? Especially when it comes to something as large as this political assassination, okay? Charlie Kirk being killed sent literal shockwaves throughout the world. And this is going to have reverberations for a very long time. All right. And there's a lot of evidence, but he's trying to poke fun at her. It's absolutely ridiculous. We're going to go ahead and jump out to 12 minutes and 30 seconds and see what Asmongold has to say.
Right, guys? So, yeah. And are you ever sad that your mom missed this AI boom? I am. I am so sad that she's not around to see this, because this is like, I things were dumb whenever she was around, but compared to how it is now, I don't even know what it'd be like, man. And by the way, she would think Israel killed Charlie Kirk. I'll tell you right now, she would think that it was actually, you know what? She wouldn't think that it was Israel. She would think that it was like this other shadow organization that is like using Israel. She would like the type of fucking things that she would think up would be fucking nuts. And she'd be right. Was she ever wrong though? Well, so there was one time, and I do want to move forward with this, but there was one time that basically, she was cooking me dinner, and she was telling me about QAnon and about how Trump is, in 2 weeks from now, going to arrest Biden, going to put him in jail, get rid of him, and on top of that, he's going to get everybody else, Trump and the Patriots, are going to come back. Biden isn't even in the White House right now. He's actually in a production studio in California, and they're going to expose all of this, and then they're going to take down all of the pedophile elite networks with Pizzagate. And I remember she was cooking like a stew or roast beef, and I said, because she was like, my mom, like, you not even believe this, but she had a master's degree, and she was like involved in science and shit. She did like experimental psychology, like she was a writer, like an artist, like she's not stupid. And so, so isn't it crazy how they keep saying 2 weeks, but then nothing happens? How many more 2 weeks is it going to be until you realize it's not going to happen? And I remember she was standing in front of the fucking, in front of the oven. And she had like a fork, and she was just like, and I never heard about QAnon again.
All right, guys, there it is. Did you see it? Did you notice it? We found the reason. okay? Is it that Asmongold is actually a retard? No. It's clear that he has some trauma from his childhood, right? So his mom was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and she was one of the actual crazy conspiracy theorists, right? There are definitely levels to conspiracy theories. There are reasonable conspiracy theories, like 9/11 was an inside job, or like JFK assassination was not a lone shooter situation, and there was much more involved behind it. And then there are the absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, different conspiracy theorists, right? The people who say the world is flat, or that there is a firmament around the world and we've never been to outer space and the moon landing was fake. And I know, before you stop me, I realize that Candace Owens believes that we did not go to the moon. I think that is utterly ridiculous. I think we did go to the moon, and I'm just going to leave it at that. That is an instance where, that's just crazy. But there are reasonable conspiracy theorists that, mind you, most of the world believes, okay? Most of the world thinks that 9/11 was an inside job, okay? I mean, almost anyone you talk to is going to think that. They don't think that some random Islamic terrorist hijacked some planes and ran it into the Twin Towers because of our freedom. They hated the fact that we had freedom. This is a theory that was pushed by Israel to make us Islamophobic, right? Because their number one enemy in the Middle East right now is Islam, Islamic faith countries. They are surrounded by a bunch of enemies. Why? Well, because Israel decided that they needed a Jewish state, so they went, and of course there's no land that's not habitated by a group of people. So what they did instead was they were going to start a war, and they were just going to take land from people. And this was in the, mid 19th century, or 20th century. So this is extremely a big deal, because those savage ways of living were what we thought was behind us, right? We weren't just going to go take land from people anymore. And we were in this liberal society where everyone deserved to have a place to live. And, at least I thought that was the consensus, especially among Western nations. But Israel didn't think this, and they went in and they removed millions of Palestinians from their homes. They took their homes and they pushed all of the Palestinians into an 11 by 20 mile rectangle, I guess. And they've been living there since. Okay, and they've been controlling their food, their water, basically all their resources, and they've been holding these Palestinian people captive for a very long time. And those of you who are unaware, Palestinians are part of the Islamic faith. Okay, so the other surrounding Islamic nations were like, "What the hell are you doing? This is not okay. We're going to fight back and give the Palestinians back their land." But what they didn't have in mind was the fact that Jewish people are unbelievable, okay? They are so intertwined into Western society that they've got really big friends in really big high places, and they got the help of the United States to create something called the Abraham Accords, which basically America went into the surrounding Arab nations and said, hey, if you stop hating Israel and you stop attacking Israel, and instead you accept that Israel has a right to exist, we will fund you, we will give you billions of dollars, and we will protect you. No one will ever be able to do anything to you, because if they did, we would come and intervene and keep you safe. Now, this is something that's very hard to pass up, especially in third world countries. These people don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of resources. They're generally corrupt. Their government's corrupt. They've got a lot of problems. These are third world countries. So when America, the big dogs, come in and say, we're going to protect you, we're going to keep you safe, all you have to do is, you're going to have to cut off your Palestinian brothers and sisters. And for the good of their nation, this is kind of a no-brainer for them. They said, yeah, this is a good idea. Okay? But nonetheless, when it comes back to it, we see that Asmongold clearly has some trauma. Okay? He has a lot of trauma surrounding his childhood, and he feels very personal about this, okay? So maybe he's not going full retard, but regardless, I'm going to say he's going full retard. I don't like his take on this whatsoever. Now we're going to go ahead and skip to, this is going to get real interesting here soon. We're going to go ahead and skip to 1720.
something like that.
And listen to what
I think that's a
Asmongold has
bit
to
crazy,
say.
right? They do. And which branch of the IDF helped fight the Brits in the Revolution? All of them, obviously. So, wow, Candace confirms she was talking with Erika's lawyer and is now backpedaling. Uh-oh.
I want to communicate, and that I did communicate to them, and I hope that they took me seriously on this, or that, rather
Surely
that they
did.
take my strong advice on this.
Yes.
I said one of the reasons why I really want to sit down is because I want to walk out of here and feel confident saying to my audience, hey, like, there's stuff going on behind the scenes, but
Yeah.
Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk.
Right.
Like that, more will come out, but you can take it from me that this is what happened. I was
Wow.
looking to achieve that because there's been a lot of signaling from various people, some people who are experts, some people who have been involved in cases, that there's obviously going to be stuff that the public does not have access to. And so it is at least.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there. And I'm going to ask you, we're going to do a little interactive experiment together, okay? Listen to what Candace Owens is saying. And tell me what you think she's going to say next. I'll give you a few seconds. Think about, what is she going to say next? What is she posturing to say? Okay? She's saying that she was hoping that she would be able to come and tell her audience after this meeting that stuff is happening behind the scenes and that they are privy to information that we are not as the public. And they have some, dead set evidence that Tyler Robinson acted alone and he killed Charlie Kirk. Now, why would someone preface that statement by saying, I was hoping? Well, clearly, she's about to say that that's not the case, right? Anyone with an IQ above room temperature knows that she is posturing to say that they do not have any more evidence than what we have, okay? This is like, you do not have to be a genius to understand where she's setting you up to say something, okay? But Asmongold has a different take on this. Not to mention, before we go any further, he's reading from Tim Pool. Anyone who's been involved in this and knows Tim Pool will see that Tim Pool has been relentlessly attacking her and spewing lies nonstop. Let's go back. We're going to listen to this again, and I'm not going to pause it. And let's go see
There we go.
what this post says.
So
This or
all of them.
All right. Candace confirms she talked with Erika's lawyer and is now backpedaling. This was it. Candace is backing down. She lost. Okay? This is what Tim Pool is saying. That Candace spoke with Erika's lawyer. She got some new information and she's backpedaling now. Okay? Everyone who's watched Candace's episode knows this is complete bullshit. Okay? This is what makes me so mad. He is intentionally lying to his audience. What's even funnier is that literally in this clip, she proves that Tim Pool is lying. Okay? Think about how absolutely crazy this is. Tim Pool grabbed this clip, 3 minutes and 21 seconds long, and then decided he was going to watch the clip in its entirety and then repost it. And this is the conclusion he came to, is that Candace spoke with Erika's lawyers and now believes the official narrative. Okay, let's now listen to Asmongold as he listens to this video that Candace just put out that Tim Pool posted. And let's see what Candace actually says in this exact clip that Tim Pool posted.
Obviously. So, wow, Candace confirms she was talking with Erika's lawyer and is now backpedaling. Uh-oh.
I want to communicate, and that I did communicate to them, and I hope that they took me seriously on this, or that, rather
Surely
that they
did.
take my strong advice on this.
Yes.
I said one of the reasons why I really want to sit down is because I want to walk out of here and feel confident saying to my audience, hey, like, there's stuff going on behind the snes, but
Yeah.
Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk.
Right.
Like that, more will come out, but you can take it from me that this is what happened. I was
Wow.
looking to achieve that because there's been a lot of signaling from various people, some people who are experts, some people who have been involved in cases, that there's obviously going to be stuff that the public does not have access to. And so it is at least plausible that they have seen very clear footage that we've been asking for of Tyler Robinson getting up there and taking the shot. Like, they have access to UVU camera. So I was hoping
Did you really think they didn't?
to hear that.
Yeah.
And I said that. I want to hear why people feel so confident at Turning Point USA that Tyler Robinson is the guy. And at this point, they elected to call the lawyer, like, their lawyer.
Yeah, sure.
Who is involved in this case.
Okay.
One of the lawyers that's involved in this case. There's always
Makes
a team
sense.
of lawyers, especially for something like this. And what I got from the lawyer did not make me feel that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. It did not make me feel confident that that he didn't or did shoot Charlie Kirk. I was very surprised by this. He spoke a very long time. I asked, can you share with me what it is? And I said, when you share this with me, I will not say what that thing is. If we want to protect the integrity of the case, I'm not gonna. If you say we've got the footage of him taking a shot, I promise I won't say
like
that
you
to the
can't be
audience.
convinced. Yeah,
but
of course.
I will communicate to them that you have something that is solid.
Uh-huh.
And no, to the exact contrary, this guy.
She can't. The thing is that.
All right, I'm going to stop Asmon before he goes even more full retard. Did you catch that? Right? As she's saying that she was expecting them to have more footage, Asmongold lets his ego come to him because he has so many followers. He thinks that he's an internet genius, and that's why people watch him, is because he's so smart and he has the highest IQ takes in the entire world when it comes to politics. And he says, "What, you didn't think that they did?" And literally in the next following seconds, Candace explains to them that no, they do not have any clear footage of him taking the shot. They actually have zero evidence other than what has been released to the public. They don't have any insider information. Zero. Zilch. She clearly says in this clip that they did not convince her that Tyler Robinson took the shot. That they do not have any evidence aside from the affidavit, the bullshit text messages that everyone's seen of him texting his furry boyfriend, and they say fingerprints on the gun, fingerprints in this shady 720p camera footage of him walking around a neighborhood and jumping off of the building. This is the evidence that they have, the same evidence that me and you and everyone else has seen, yet Asmongold lets his ego cloud his brain from thinking clearly and says, "You didn't think they did?" She was clearly posturing to tell you that no, they do not. Anyone with a brain listening to this video can clearly see that that was the case. That she was about to say that they don't have any extra evidence and they did not convince her that Tyler Robinson was the killer. And somebody, one of his viewers, they're commenting and saying, it's almost like she can't be convinced. And Asmongold's like, yeah, it's true. That's true, bro. They don't have any other evidence, okay? It's not like she said they brought her more evidence about the Tyler Robinson case, that they had insider information. No, that's exactly what she's saying. They have nothing. So why are they so confident that Tyler Robinson is the killer? Everybody knows the text messages are super shady. That's not how somebody talks. We're not going to get into that. Everybody's covered that. I'm sure you've seen it a million times. Okay, we're not going to get into that again. But the grainy footage, I mean, come on now. The gun having prints on it, okay, that doesn't mean that's the gun that shot Charlie Kirk. Right? I mean, common sense. Okay, he scaled the building. We don't even know that that's Tyler Robinson in the video. It's so grainy, you cannot tell me that that is 100% Tyler Robinson. And even if it was, just because he got on the building does not mean he took the shot. The shot could have come from somewhere else with a different weapon. It could have been the microphone. I know people were throwing that theory around. But the bottom line is, this clip makes Asmongold look like a fucking retard. His editor should never have put this online. I know the people watching live would have saw it anyways, but you should have deleted that and left that in the dust. Instead, he doesn't. He doubles down on it, and now he's going to go into some rant But mind you, Tim Pool posted that she's backpedaling. Does this sound like she's backpedaling? Towards the end of the video, her saying that she is not convinced that Tyler Robinson took the shot and that she spoke with the lawyer and they don't have any extra information. But Tim Pool posted, right? You saw the post. She's backpedaling. Okay, automatically, this should remove all credibility from Tim Pool. If you do like him, you need to call him out on it. You should just automatically, he posted a video and contradicted the video in the very post, okay? He's lost all credibility. This guy is a retard. And Asmongold is proving that he's a retard too. And you see how Asmongold comes to these conclusions about Candace Owens because look at the content that he's taking seriously. He's taking Tim Pool as the arbiter of truth in this situation. Come on now. Have some integrity. Are you looking up this stuff for yourself, or are you just scrolling your X feed and believing all the Fed slop literally bombarded on X right now? I think we know the answer to that, okay? Hey, looks like I have... What about the dogs not finding it? I do have that. I do have that. Okay, my wife is in the chat. She's my only viewer, but whatever. It's okay. I'm going to edit this video down and hopefully people see it. But now we are going to go and look into something else because I can't cover this anymore. It's absolutely nuts. So let me go ahead and jump to minute 21 here. I think it's, minute 21. And we're going to listen to what Asmongold has to say.
I told you I definitely...
Okay, I knew she was going to pull a switcheroo and trick us, but she said she doesn't think he did it now? What's going on? She can't even maintain eye contact with her viewers. She's rumbling, stuttering, contradicting herself, nervous. Can we urgently get a body language expert analysis in here, please? This is unbelievable.
Problem in life is that I can rise to anger very quickly. I shared with them that I really felt like I was under attack for telling the truth from the very beginning, like casually when I mentioned the Catholicism thing. Like, what was that about? I was like, look,
Candace has now bent the knee to Erika Kirk, and her chat is in full revolt.
Say something and attribute to him. Alex Clark and Andrew Colvett then jump onto a podcast.
Hell
and
no!
That weird interview,
she lost it. She sold out. And this is nuts, man. National security. What about the planes in Egypt? Did she look to the left when she said Tyler Robinson shot Charlie? Did she look to the left? Oh my God. This is such a massive crash out. It is insane.
Guys were telling me not to drink water, so I didn't drink water. Well, I brought my own water, but I didn't drink that water too. It was a lot. There's a lot going on, okay? And the conversation started.
What did you expect whenever you catered to a bunch of crazies? This is what happens. If you cater to crazies, you've got to be crazy. You can't be normal.
With
you can't
Justin
do that.
Strife very sensibly saying, what are we looking to accomplish here? Like, what is the actual aim of this conversation? And he was pretty clear, and Erika was very clear, that they were sort of most upset with what obviously a bit of a fever pitch, what I tweeted, that it was a godforsaken company and people should not give money to it. And I have to own that. That's aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retrospect. I was very frustrated. And
absolutely,
I felt like we weren't getting any answers and there were so many lies. And then I was getting attacked for asking all meaningful questions that it was.
So after all of this, the big result is that the law enforcement that are going through this case didn't give you all of the evidence. And so logically, because they didn't give you all of the evidence, Israel killed Charlie Kirk.
the process.
Okay, so sorry about that. My mic was muted for a second. I realized that I had went to a part in the video that I was not trying to go to. I was trying to go to minute 21 and I was on minute 25, but hey, there's some free other information for you. But Asmongold claims that because they didn't give you all the evidence, Israel killed Charlie Kirk, right? And obviously this is another low IQ take. Okay, he's insinuating that TPUSA has more evidence and they just didn't share that evidence with Candace Owens. But that's not true. Okay, first of all, TPUSA told her that they only have the same evidence that has come out publicly. So there you go. This guy's an idiot. Now we're just going to go jump ahead to 28:18, where he describes, where Candace is describing what's actually happening. Or no, sorry, we're going to go to 27:35 first, when Asmongold starts crashing out on his own viewers. And I do want to stop for a second, and before I play this clip, and say that the people that are saying that Candace's chat is turning on her, okay, if you actually go look, and Asmongold does this, right, he goes and looks and sees if she's losing subscribers. And he comes to the conclusion that she's not. Okay, that just goes to show that the people that were commenting all this nonsense that she was selling out, they're not her fans. These are her opposition. These are Tim Pool's fans and these other weirdos, Ben Shapiro fans, going onto her live stream and making it look like her fans are turning on her. Okay, just because someone donates $10 to be a super chat does not mean they're fans of Candace Owens. Okay, if I wanted to make it look realistic that I was a fan of Candace Owens and I was turning on her, I would spend $10 to do so. Okay, that doesn't prove anything. If her audience was actually turning on her, they would have unsubscribed from her channel, which we can clearly see is not happening. She still has more followers than you, Asmongold. Way more. And your jealousy is looking very ugly on you, might I presume. All right, let me go ahead and play this clip now.
And
he starts banning his viewers.
Aimed at me, but they never say my name, and that to me felt like it was the first, I don't know, the first bit of mud.
Doubling down on the dream, yeah.
Which their answer for that was, "Hey, that was a really crazy time. A new system had to be put into place, and by no means did Erika give any."
Candace is right though. You're just a soy boy libtard currently. There's no way I've got one of these in chat. Okay, yeah, he's trolling. All right, you're going to get banned. I don't want to read that. It's just annoying. But that...
All right, so this is the first time that Asmongold bans one of his viewers because he's saying that Candace was right, and that's literally what this clip is saying, okay? Candace is right about this. And Candace is telling you that she's right, that Erika Kirk is owning up to it, and you have no idea what you're talking about. You're sounding like a libtard right now. So he starts banning his viewers, and this lasts for a while. He probably banned 1,000 people in his chat that night. I don't know if that's true, but I've witnessed him ban people because they agree with Candace and realize that Asmongold is just being a little bitch retard right now. So let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit to 28:18.
One of the first things that Erika did was she owned the lies, or rather, I guess they would cage it as miscommunications.
I don't see why people assume that there's going to be flawless communication whenever some crazy tragedy happens. This is what I think happens is that, like, I've watched things like this develop both on stream and off stream, and official stories and narratives change really fast because people don't really know what's happening. But what happens is that people that are like very conspiratorially minded, they will look at any change of like this like behavior or narrative, they'll view it as basically this is a person changing the opinion, right? They're changing their opinion. They're hiding the truth, and there's some also version of it
coming from various people at the company. Look, this is a company with 650 people that are employed. everybody at this time is exceedingly
Cooking hard. No, she hasn't produced any evidence or any justification for 90% of the things that she said. But
Alrighty now, we're going to stop it right there. So first he starts banning his viewers. Then Candace gets on and she starts describing that she was actually proud of the fact that one of the first things that Erika did was own up to all the lies being told from Turning Point. And she labels these lies as miscommunication. And then Asmongold goes and defends Erika Kirk, saying that he doesn't understand why people would expect flawless communication after a tragedy. Now, there's a lot of reasons why this is a brain dead take. And I'm going to go ahead and just start rattling them off. Okay, first and foremost, okay, telling somebody a blatant lie is not miscommunications. That's just lying, okay? It's not like they're in the middle of this tragedy, right? It's not like Candace Owens was literally texting them, asking them questions the moment Charlie Kirk was shot. Okay, this is weeks after the shooting. The tragedy, all the hype has died down. Okay, and he says something very interesting here, which proves that he's completely uneducated on everything he's talking about. Okay, he says that she has not produced any evidence or justification for 90% of the things she's been saying. Now, I want to ask you a question as a viewer. Do you think that Asmongold has been following Candace Owens this entire time? Do you think that Asmongold has watched one full video of Candace Owens aside, and he's not even watching a full video here, right? You see he's going through X and he's clip farming. People are clipping things and he's just believing the clips and the context, the lack of context that there is. Do you think that, I'm going to roll my sleeves up here because I'm starting to get angry already talking about it. Do you think that Asmongold is educated about this at all? Do you think that he knows actually anything that Candace has been saying? Do you think he could list out 10 claims that Candace has made? Do you think he could list out 10 pieces of evidence that Candace has? I would be willing to say no. I actually don't think he's went to Candace's page and watched one single video of hers. Okay? So this is where I get real angry. Okay? Because it's one thing for someone to ask you a question and for you to say, I don't know. Right? It seems like that phrase has just been totally removed from the English language and people just say nonsense, okay? They cannot admit that they don't know about what they're talking about or being asked about. Instead, they tried to give you an impromptu answer and just bullshit their way through a response, okay? If I asked you where Brazil was, okay, and you had no idea where Brazil was, you should say, I don't know where Brazil is. You shouldn't say the Middle East. Just guessing, right? That makes you a retard. If you're not educated on a topic, you should stay silent about it or you should learn about it, but you definitely shouldn't pretend like you know what you're talking about. So that's the first thing that just makes me super angry, okay? And now we're gonna go skip to 29. Oh no, sorry. I was about to skip ahead without addressing another piece of bullshit, okay? Erika Kirk claims it's misinformation. And what she means by this or miscommunication, sorry. What she actually means by this is that Erika Kirk did not give the go-ahead to her employees to come out and say these things. Like Charlie actually never thought about converting to Catholicism. Or Charlie was never second-guessing Israel. Or Charlie did not send text messages the day before he was assassinated telling people that they were going to try and kill him tomorrow. Okay? This is not miscommunication. This is Erika Kirk not telling them that it is okay to answer these questions. They are answering it without her approval. That's what she's classifying as miscommunication. I should not be muted right now, so. Am I muted? I don't think I'm muted. Maybe I'm muted on her end. A viewer, my wife, actually is telling me I'm muted, but I'm not muted. So I don't know what's going on here, but hopefully I'm not muted. Nonetheless, where was I? Yeah, this is not miscommunication, okay? When Erika comes out and says, Charlie Kirk did not send any text messages the day before claiming that people were trying to kill him, that's not miscommunication. That is you lying to the public. You said that you had his cell phone. You mean to tell me that you didn't know that Charlie communicates on different apps, right? You didn't know that he has an X account and that he might message people there? How about Signal? Everybody knows what Signal is, right? Because of the recent uprising that happened over somebody being added into a Signal chat in the government and leaking classified information about something that was about to take place. And it was all over the news. It is an encrypted chat, okay? Now, you mean to tell me that Erika didn't know that he used Telegram or Signal or X? She said she has his phone, looked in his text messages. Those text messages do not exist. Well, she owned up to that fact in this private meeting with Candace Owens and said she actually found the message and it was either in Telegram or Signal. But regardless, she owned up to the lie that she told. This is not miscommunication. This is a blatant lie. How about the fact that Candace Owens was the first person to say that Charlie was going to leave the pro-Israel movement? And then Andrew Colvett came out and said that's not true. So Candace literally showed a screenshot of a group chat where Andrew Colvett is in the group chat, actively participating in the group chat, where Charlie Kirk says, I have no choice but to leave the pro-Israel movement. I'm sure everyone has seen this, right? I'm positive. I mean, there has been so much drama about it ever since it happened. And then when Candace Owens leaked that information to the public, Andrew Colvett had no choice but to say that those were legitimate. He actually said, I'm happy that this is coming out now. It's a weight off my chest. I didn't share it because it wasn't my place to share it. Well, then why'd you lie about it? Right? You're trying to make Candace Owens look bad, but in reality, when she shows you she has receipts, you look bad. And why do you think Erika Kirk owned up to the fact that she lied to the public about Charlie not texting someone the day before he was assassinated, saying that that was going to happen to him the next day? And why would she admit this privately? Has Erika Kirk come out since and told the public that she accidentally lied about that fact to try and make Candace have some credibility because she was right about it? And Erika Kirk lied to everyone about that. And the fact that she's not owning up to it is absolute bullshit. Erika Kirk is not a good person. Okay, we're going to find this out one way or another. The truth will come out. So save this, clip this. This is the truth. Erika Kirk is not a good person. She is involved one way or another in this. I know it. The woman is evil, demonic. I can see it in her eyes. And she's shady. She lies about things. And okay, if she was a good person, right? I'll play devil's advocate here. And I am advocating for the devil here. If Erika Kirk knows that she lied about it, even if it was accidental, right? Wouldn't she come out publicly and say, I'm sorry, Candace Owens. I should not have lied. I did not know that the message was sent via Signal. I found the message. Here it is. I'll show the public it. Here's his phone. Look at the message. And I'm sorry for that. Yeah, a normal good person, that's what a good person does. Let's talk about Amfest and how Charlie Kirk had the entire speaker list already written out before he died. Obviously, because it was only 2 months away from his death. He had it all planned out. So how did Ben Shapiro end up on the ticket? How did Ben Shapiro end up getting on a stage, despite Charlie Kirk not liking Ben Shapiro? And that was well known. Right? Even though Charlie was cordial with him, he would get into a podcast with him. That doesn't mean that Charlie liked Ben Shapiro. No, Charlie despised Ben Shapiro. But that was the type of person that Charlie was. He brought people on that he disagreed with. Why? Because Charlie believed in open discourse, even if it was someone you disagreed with, which is a founding principle that Ben Shapiro does not have. Clearly, as he went on the stage at AmpFest and basically condemned everyone for not deplatforming Candace Owens and calling her out, and Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes, they are scared. They are terrified because Candace is onto something. Nick Fuentes is blowing the whistle on all these Jews right now. They are shivering up like the Jewish people they are. They're ready to sue. They're litigating. They don't argue, they litigate. And best believe the lawsuits are coming. He's going to try to sue the pants off of everyone. Literally. All right. I don't think I'm muted, so hopefully I'm not. It says I'm still streaming, says I'm still recording. My mic's on. I hope you guys can hear me, but all right. Now, are we at 29:20? Okay, I'm going to play this clip for you guys real quick, and then we're going to get into the actual claims that Candace has made, and I think I'm covering every claim that she has made. Okay, a claim is different than her just noticing something and saying something about it. She's actually made claims, okay? Definitive claims where she says, this is true, all right? And let's see the evidence that backs up her claims, okay? But first, let's listen to this.
Like, I'm sorry, but like if somebody comes out and they say, Charlie Kirk talked to me and told me I was betrayed in a dream, and then you say, oh, let's hear what else this person has to say, you're a retard. You're a retard, and you should feel stupid. Like, it's crazy that this is even a conversation. Like, how is this even a conversation with anything? Like, so she says she talked to Charlie Kirk in a dream, and you're like, oh, no, she really knows what she's talking about. Oh, no, listen to her. You're not giving her the benefit of the doubt.
See, this is what pisses me off. He's calling you a retard. He's calling Candace Owens a retard. If you listen to her, you're retarded, all because she confided in her fans and said that she had a dream about Charlie Kirk. Not that this was evidence, not that you should take this to the bank. No, simply that it happened, and, you know, we are spiritual people. She's a Christian. She believes that everything happens for a reason, and just because Asmongold doesn't believe in God doesn't mean God can't speak to Candace through her dreams. Just because you don't believe it's true doesn't make it not true, okay? Terrence Howard believes that 1 + 1 = 1. Or, sorry, 1 × 1 = 2. Just because he believes that to be the case doesn't mean it's true. Just because Terrence Howard is a retard doesn't mean that we should all just say, yeah, let's be retards together. No, you're not a retard. You're a deep thinker. You're thinking more than these experts, than these guys who have dedicated their lives with 140 IQs to, I'm rambling right now just because I'm angry, but don't take this idiot serious whatsoever. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and we are going to just sit here and talk about the evidence, okay? We're going to talk about the evidence. I'm going to show you guys the evidence. Well, I'm not going to show you guys the evidence, but we're going to go over the claims that Candace Owens has made and why it's important and what is the evidence to back that up, okay? Let me just move my OBS over here real quick and then make this large. All right, so to the claims. The first claim is the reaction of Mikey McCoy is extremely weird, putting his phone in his ear, casually walking away while Charlie is bleeding to death. Okay, this is a factual claim, and the evidence is it's literally on camera. You can watch within a second of Charlie Kirk being shot in the neck and bleeding out and dying. This hero, according to Turning Point USA, just instantly picks his phone up, puts it to his ear, and starts walking away towards the parking lot. Not running, right? If somebody was just shot, your first reaction should be, where's the shot coming from? Are they going to shoot me too? It's almost like they knew who the target was. And they knew that this was just going to be a one person down kind of thing. And that's very suspicious. Okay, that's the first claim. And that's backed up by literal video footage. Okay? Claim number 2. Staff contaminated the crime scene by moving objects under the tent, standing on Charlie's chair, removing the SD card from the camera. TPUSA responded to this and said the crowd was stealing hats, so they were protecting the footage. They later changed that story to the police told me to secure the footage. Now, both of these are lies. First of all, if they were stealing things, all right, if the public was stealing things, why wouldn't you just take the camera? Okay, this is a few $1,000 camera, but you just take the memory card out? Makes no sense. And then the police told them to do it? Well, that's funny because we have video footage of you the entire time. You're not on the phone. You're not speaking to a police officer. No police officer walks up to you. No, you just got up on the chair and did it yourself because that's what you wanted to do. And that's shady, and that's on video. That's been proven. That's a claim that Candace has made. Number 3, Mikey McCoy called Erika immediately, and that's why he walked away, because that was his job, that Charlie told him if something were to happen, call Erika, okay? And he didn't want to interfere and mess something up by trying to save Charlie's life. Well, that was a lie, because Erika Kirk brought receipts and showed the call log showing that Mikey McCoy was on the phone with his wife for 10 minutes. Then he called then he called Erika Kirk, and then he called his father and told his father to pray about it. Okay? And this is a direct lie from Turning Point USA. Blake Neff said within a minute of Charlie being shot, he was on the phone with Erika. I was right next to him. I seen the entire thing. Well, he lied about that. Mikey McCoy lied about that. Okay? And that's been proven. All right? Erika Kirk brought receipts. So those are 3 claims that all have evidence and all have been proven. All right? Number 4, Rob McCoy comes out and says that Mikey McCoy was covered in blood. All right? When he was on the phone with him. He tells this to his entire congregation. And then Mikey McCoy gets on camera at Turning Point USA event after Candace calls him out and says that's bullshit. He didn't have a drop of blood on him. And he admits that that wasn't true. He asked his dad, why would you say that? That's not true at all. Because Rob McCoy's a shady figure. And I'm going to get to the bottom of, and Candace is going to get to the bottom of, what he truly is doing, okay? What role did he play in this assassination? Because I know it wasn't nothing, all right? Number 5, they literally paved over the crime scene on a Sunday, 3 days after Charlie Kirk was killed, okay? Another claim that Candace made turned out to be true. There's literally video footage of them paving over the crime scene. This is the biggest political assassination since JFK, arguably bigger than JFK, and they're paving over the crime scene 3 days after the assassination. Seems a little shady to me. It screams cover up. What about when Trump was shot in the ear, and you saw them hosing down, the feds were hosing down the crime scene. They were covering up the crime scene. It doesn't take a genius to figure this out. This is not normal. If I got murdered and they demolished my house afterwards, people should really look into that, okay? All right, let's do number 6. Candace makes tribute to Charlie. Her first video ever she posted after his death was just a tribute. She wasn't making wild claims or anything, and just said that Charlie was very interested in Catholicism and was thinking about converting. Turning Point USA comes out later and says that's not true. So Candace Owens has to do it again. She brings the receipts. She shows that Andrew Colvett, the speaker for Turning Point USA, was just lying. The spokesperson for Turning Point USA. And Andrew Colvett has told a lot of lies, okay? So this, at the bare minimum, already proves that some people at Turning Point are lying about things. Why? Who knows? You could go look it up for yourself. They are lying about things. And maybe I'll do a more long-form video where I actually go find all of these things, but I'm sure you've seen them all already. If you're educated and you're actually following this story, you know everything I'm saying already. And you've seen the evidence. All right. Now let's see. Netanyahu comes out and says that Charlie never doubted Israel and that he didn't kill Charlie Kirk, and he invited Charlie to come to Israel, and he was supposed to come there this summer. That's funny because none of that was true. Candace called him out, and Netanyahu posted the full letter where Charlie declines coming to Israel, and it's far from a love letter. Instead, it's telling Netanyahu that he has a huge problem, and Charlie doesn't know how to answer questions about Israel anymore because there's no truthful way to answer it without making Israel look bad. And it's a very long letter. You can go look that up. There is a news organization somewhere who has posted the full letter. You can see it for yourself. So she's been right about every single thing she's claimed so far. Let's go again. Candace claims that donors were pressuring Charlie, and Charlie was having second thoughts about Israel. He was waking up to the scam, the Jewish scam. Andrew Colvett and the rest of Turning Point come out and says, this is not true. This is just a blatant lie from Candace Owens. And better believe all her grifters, Tim Pool, came out there and said, see, she's a liar. She's profiting off of Charlie Kirk's death. Get her. She's the devil. She's demonic. Well, what was the truth was that Candace had receipts already. And the reason why she didn't just post the receipts instantly is because she wanted to wait and see if Turning Point was going to do the right thing and tell the truth. Because she believes Israel has something to do with this, and I think there's plenty of evidence to back this up, especially when we start talking about the Egyptian plains soon. Nonetheless, she posts receipts and literally makes Turning Point lie about it. The guy who lied about it, Andrew Colvett, was present in the group chat 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So what good reason did he have for coming on live TV and lying about it, trying to make Candace look bad? Do you see a bunch of people calling Andrew Colvett a liar, asking for him to step down from his position? No, I wonder why. Why are people ignoring the blatant lies that are coming out from Turning Point USA and Erika Kirk? Why are they ignoring it? Because it doesn't fit their agenda. They are being paid by Israel to make Candace look like a schizo. So you, as a viewer, as an educated person, if you want to have an opinion about this, you need to go watch Candace for yourself. And if you watch her for yourself, you will be able to tell immediately who's bought and paid for, if you should be watching them, or if you should unsubscribe and never follow them again. Okay? You should do this service to yourself because you're an intellectual. And if you're not, well, admit it to yourself. Stop saying you know things that you don't know. All right, now we're going to go on to Candace says Charlie texted a few people the day before he was killed, saying that he was going to be killed. Turning Point USA comes out and says this is not true. And the other crazy part is Erika Kirk comes out on live TV and says she has Charlie's phone. This is a lie. Candace Owens is pushing lies out. Well, that's funny because Erika Kirk miraculously found the text message when she looked in his signal chat that he actually did text people the day before saying he was going to be killed. Why wouldn't he share this information with his wife if they were so close and on good terms by the time he died? Well, I have questions about that, and you should too. Let me get a drink real quick. All right, more claims. All right, now we're getting to the Egyptian planes. There are Egyptian planes that are Israeli planes. They're just registered in Egypt that regularly fly inside and out of Israel. And what's funny is when they do this, they turn their transponder off. Why would they do that unless they were hiding something? But we can clearly see them going to Israel, okay? You can go look up the flight logs on the internet. It is public information. It's all publicly accessible, okay? This is real. This has not been debunked at all. Despite all these retards coming out and saying that they debunked the Egyptian planes, no, actually not one of them have been debunked. It's all true. Like I said, you can go look it up for yourself. Don't rely on me. Don't rely on Candace. Don't rely on Tim Pool. And definitely don't rely on Asmongold. Go look it up for yourself. Stop being lazy. If you want to call Candace a liar, then I hope you did the research. You better do the research. Got it? All right. These are real. They were following Charlie and Erika and Turning Point USA faith events. There is more than 70 overlaps between where Charlie and Erika were and where these planes landed. For years, they were following them. That's sketchy. And the plane was present on the day that Charlie Kirk was killed. All these people saying that Candace mistook UTC for Utah time instead of Universal. It has no relevance because it still means that the plane landed in Provo the day Charlie Kirk was killed, and it left after he was killed. Or no, sorry, actually it dropped off 12 people and then left. But who were those 12 people? Well, we think it was the military, and there's good reason to believe that because there are codes when planes are flying. And certain codes means certain things. Air Force Ones means that the president is on the plane. Air Force Two is like FBI, high-ranking Congress member. Okay? There are military personnel on this plane, and they don't leave with this military personnel. They were just dropped off in Provo, probably to kill Charlie Kirk. Nonetheless, it's a fact. You can go look up the information for yourself. It's true. So Candace actually has not been wrong about anything yet. Let's go ahead and blatant lie from Brian Harpole. He goes on this interview and he says that they couldn't fly drones. That TPUSA, that the Utah school said that it's illegal for them to fly drones. Well, why is there a video of the security team flying drones at the event? He just went there and lied about it. And guess what? Brian Harpole does not work there anymore because of this lie and all the other lies he told in this interview. And Erika Kirk owned up to these lies. Okay? So save me the bullshit that no one in Turning Point USA is culpable in this murder. First of all, if Charlie Kirk texted them a day before saying that they were going to try to kill him at this event, how did somebody be able to get onto a roof 100 yards away from Charlie and take a shot at him? It's because they let it happen. If that's even what happened, they could have very well made sure that that roof was secure. That is the most brain dead spot. Obviously, somebody's going to try to shoot them from that spot if they are. And Brian Harpole is one of the people who got the text message that they were going to kill him. He's the head of security, but they still let it happen. Smells like a cover-up to me. Actually, I think at this point, if you don't believe that this is a cover-up and there's more people involved than just Tyler Robinson, you're a retard. A fucking retard. There's plenty of evidence that proves that this is true. Erika Kirk lies on national TV saying she didn't date anyone prior to meeting Charlie Kirk. This is a lie. Even though they scrubbed the internet, there's something called the Internet Archives, which somebody dug up an old photo of her dating, let me get the name, she was dating Cabot Phillips in 2017, despite meeting Charlie in 2016. Just a blatant lie. Why would she lie about that? She knew she was dating someone else, so why lie about it? Well, we're going to find out why she lied about it here in a second. The police searched for the gun. They linked arms. They traveled the length of the crime scene. They looked everywhere. And they even brought bomb-sniffing dogs to find the gun. And guess what? These dogs, they didn't find the gun. Neither did the police. And then the FBI shows up on the scene, and suddenly they find the gun. What's funny is there are police officers saying they checked that spot. The bomb dogs checked that spot. It's impossible for the dogs and the police not to have found that weapon if it was there. Why do you think, and this is the police saying this, why do you think the gun showed up when the feds got there? Because the feds planted the gun, just like they planted Tyler Robinson's DNA on the gun in the crime scene. It's obvious, okay? Another lie. Charlie was shot with a 30-06. Andrew Colvett literally said that he talked to the surgeon after the fact, and the surgeon said that his bone density was so impressive. This should have killed multiple people. Whoever was standing behind Charlie should have died. But it's a miracle, a modern-day miracle, a work of God. His bone was so healthy that it stopped a 30-06 from coming through and through his neck and killing more people. Well, the surgeon comes out and says, that's not true. I did not defy HIPAA laws and tell Andrew Colvett this. The only information that I gave out was about the bullet, which he's legally allowed to do because it's not patient. I forget the name of it. Sorry, I've been streaming for a while now, but it doesn't fall under that privilege, okay? Because he's just talking about the bullet, not his medical records. And he said that the bullet might have been a frangible bullet. That's the only reason he could come up with, because it disintegrates on impact. And that's the real reason why there wasn't an exit wound. Well, why would Andrew Colvett come on live TV and quote a surgeon, even though that's not what the surgeon told him? Because he's evil and he is implicated in this crime. Okay? Everybody knows that Charlie was establishing a doge at his company because he believed there was something shady going on. He didn't know where all the money was coming from, and he didn't know where all the money was going. So he wanted to develop an internal doge and find out what the hell was going on and why was there something corrupt happening in his company. Well, he died before that doge was enacted, and I think I know why. A mix between him about to turn on Israel and about to uncover a probably tens of millions of dollars of fraud happening at his organization. Not to mention, Turning Point USA missed the filing date for their taxes. And then when they did file their taxes, there's a lot of shady things about it. I suggest you look it up for yourself and see. I'm going to get a small break and come back in a second. All right, so I've been racking my head, and I know that there is a lot of reasons why Israel would want Charlie Kirk dead, despite Charlie being a defender of Israel for the most part. Think about what's happening in the world. All right, first of all, Israel would not exist without the United States. Everybody knows this. It's not debatable. If U.S. pulls their support for Israel, the Abraham Accords will literally burn up in flames. And that means the surrounding Arab nations will commit justice on Israel and give that land back to the Palestinian people. And the Jews will no longer have a place because, well, they committed a genocide. So that's a good reason for them to lose all those Jewish privileges. But the left has already turned on Israel. Right? The entire left is anti-Israel right now. And the right is actually fractured in half. Right? You have the Turning Point USA people who still support Israel, the Christian Zionists, or the Judeo-Christians, however you want to say it, which is not real, okay? You cannot be Christian and support Jews. It's in direct contradiction to the Bible. You should not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Are Jewish people Christians? No, they don't even believe Jesus was a prophet, let alone God. So should you get into business with these people? Marry them? Befriend them? No, you should preach to them and tell them to give their life to Jesus Christ or they will burn in hell for eternity. That's what Christians believe. You shouldn't be unequally yoked with somebody. Everybody knows that to be true if you follow the Bible. So Israel had a big problem. Because if Charlie Kirk was going to turn on Israel, that means all that Judeo-Christian stuff goes out the window. And the MAGA base would no longer be split on the subject of Israel. And they would all come to the conclusion that we need to end support for Israel. That means these next elections coming up, the American people were not going to elect anyone who's taking money from Israel. As a matter of fact, I believe that the American people will not even elect anyone that's pro-Israel. I'd go as far to say that they're not going to elect anyone who isn't anti-Israel, against Israel. And I think that to be true. I honestly do. But nonetheless, I hope that I did a good job convincing you that Asmongold is a fucking retard. And I hope you unsubscribe from his channel because he thinks you're a retard too. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. You're watching the Midnight Rebellion podcast. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off now. I've been doing this for a while and I'm new to this. I thought I could go for a whole 2 hours. I actually don't know how long I've been going for, but I think I stopped at a good point. I hope you guys appreciate this. And if you will, please hit that like button, leave a comment down there, and subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to go ahead and edit this video down, condense it, and put it out for the public to see. I'm a little saddened that more people didn't join me as I was live streaming. I don't know why that's the case. I wonder if YouTube kind of like shadow banned me and is not promoting my app or my video for some reason, but I'll figure it out eventually. They cannot silence us. That's one thing I know. Well, anyways, this is your host, Drake Maverick. Thank you for tuning in to the Midnight Rebellion podcast, and I'll see you next time.